the state Democratic Party has brazenly requested the federal government agency known as the Federal Elections Commission to literally toss out our state election laws. They have petitioned the Federal Elections Commission for a ruling, an opinion, which would say that all of the money that they collected, that they've raised in their federal campaign account, money that is not subject to the rules and regulations and restrictions of Connecticut state law, money that allows people who are state contractors to contribute to that fund, that money be allowed to be used exclusively for statewide candidates in direct contradiction of our state law. The Democratic State Party has put forth a suggested sample mailer wherein they intend on using federal money, exclusively federal money, for exclusively statewide candidates. And as an example, they give an example of a mailer that they're sending out on behalf of the candidacy and to promote the election of Governor Daniel Malloy. Governor Malloy, as the Republican candidate, as probably 90% of all candidates, Democratic and Republican, are participating in the citizen election program. The citizen election program is a program whereby after a candidate meets certain qualifications and swears under oath to abide by the Connecticut law, they will receive state taxpayer money to run their campaigns. Each and every candidate who participates in that program is required to sign a signed piece of paper under oath, wherein they promise that they understand that they are personally liable and must repay to the Citizens Election Fund any monies that are not expended in accordance with the provision of Connecticut law. Earlier in this campaign season, many of us raised questions with regard to the fundraising activities of our Governor Dan Malloy. Governor Malloy crisscrossed this country, raising millions of dollars for the state Democratic Party. When he was questioned by many, including Senator McKinney, the answer was, I follow the laws of the state of Connecticut. The concern was that the very people the governor of the state of Connecticut was soliciting money from were the people who were donating, were receiving state contracts. The state Democratic Party, as all parties do, have two pots of money, the state and the federal. In the state account, if you check the most recent filings, the state Democratic Party has only about $320,000 left over. But in their federal account, they have in excess of $2 million. In a tight legislative, senatorial, and certainly gubernatorial races, they want to spend that money. But the law prohibits them from doing that. So what do they want to do? They've hired a person to go to the federal agency and say, please tell the state to butt out of our business. We don't want to follow that law. We want to do it our way. What we are doing here today is calling on the State Elections Enforcement Commission to enforce state law. In that, regardless of what the federal opinion given by the Federal Elections Commission is, that state law is state law, and it should be enforced to its fullest. Therefore, if any candidate who has taken the sworn oath and has received citizen election money benefits in the slightest degree from the kind of influx of money from the state Democrats' federal account, they should be fined and penalized to the full extent of the law, and as they've indicated, personally liable to repay the entire citizen election grant back to the state of Connecticut. After Citizens United, this legislature had a crack at modifying our campaign election laws in response to Citizens United. And the Democrats led the charge on that and were very clear about it and passed the various reforms and modifications that we saw in 2013. But through that entire time, post-Citizens United, The one principle that was upheld by those very Democrats and the entire General Assembly was that contractor money has absolutely no place in Connecticut state elections. That the cornerstone of campaign finance reform was to keep contractor money out of state elections. They have completely thrown away that principle. They want to completely overturn it. And as Christine indicated, if they get what they want, we could take our campaign finance reform bill and rip it up and throw it in the garbage.